Hold on tight because what you're about to hear is mind-blowing. Diddy's own son, Christian Combs, just threatened 50 Cent publicly. Yeah, you heard that right. And that's only the beginning. Celebrities are scrambling and the fallout from 50 Cent's explosive Netflix documentary is just getting started. But what's really at stake here? Who's desperately trying to stop 50 from exposing the truth? You won't believe who's involved. Stick around to find out. This is going to change everything. The chaos surrounding this situation is growing by the day. Christian Combs, Diddy's own son, has just made a shocking public threat aimed directly at 50 Cent. His words were sharp and clear. If their paths ever cross, he's going to slap the rap mogul. This isn't just another petty Twitter feud, it's much deeper than that. Christian's tweet has sparked a firestorm of controversy, catching the attention of the media, fans, and even other celebrities. But that's not all. According to numerous insiders and sources close to the situation, several big-name celebrities are allegedly involved in a frantic and calculated effort to silence 50 Cent after the release of his bombshell Netflix documentary. What started as a personal exchange between two men has now ballooned into something much larger, a desperate, all-out campaign to contain the damage caused by the documentary's release. This isn't merely a case of hurt feelings or misplaced words. The stakes are high. The release of 50 Cent's documentary has shaken the foundations of the entertainment industry, and it's clear that those involved, including some very powerful people, are not prepared to let this story get out of control. As the drama unfolds, the question remains: who's behind this effort to silence 50 Cent, and what lengths will they go to protect their own interests? What is it about this documentary that has so many people, including Christian Combs and other prominent figures, so desperately trying to bury the truth? 50 Cent has made it clear from the start. He's not afraid to expose the truth, no matter who it hurts. His Instagram account has become ground zero for bombshell revelations, each post more explosive than the last. He's not just casually dropping gossip. He's posting concrete evidence, receipts, and behind-the-scenes information that some would go to great lengths to keep hidden. And through it all, 50 Cent has shown no fear in the face of mounting threats. In fact, he's only doubling down, seemingly unbothered by the pushback and determined to make sure his story is heard. His approach is fearless and unapologetic, an unrelenting force in the face of those who want to silence him. But who exactly is behind these efforts to suppress 50 Cent's documentary? What drives them to stop him at all costs? The level of desperation involved hints at something much deeper than a simple celebrity feud. The stakes are high, and the fear of what's being revealed is palpable. To understand this complex battle, we need to dive into the figures who are actively trying to shut 50 down, and the first, and perhaps most unexpected, person to consider in this fight is none other than Diddy's son, Christian Combs. Christian, who's often overshadowed by his father's legacy, has taken it upon himself to lead the charge against 50 Cent. At first glance, his involvement in this high-stakes drama may seem surprising. After all, Christian is a relatively young and lesser-known figure in the public eye compared to his father. So why would he risk so much by stepping into the spotlight and challenging someone as powerful as 50 Cent? What would compel him to get involved in a public dispute that could put his own reputation on the line? But Christian's actions aren't just a result of personal animosity. They are part of a much larger effort. By engaging with 50 Cent in this way, Christian is playing a role in a broader narrative, one where the people close to Diddy, including his family members, are stepping forward to protect their father's legacy at all costs. Christian's involvement is not just about defending his father in a traditional sense. It's about participating in a carefully orchestrated campaign to maintain control of the narrative surrounding Diddy's life and career. The question is, what does Christian stand to gain from this? What's motivating him to put himself directly in the line of fire? As we dig deeper, it becomes clear that Christian is just one of many players in this intricate web of power, influence, and fear. His efforts to silence 50 Cent are not merely personal. They are part of a much larger strategy to protect the truth from being fully exposed. And this strategy involves not only Christian but other high-profile figures who are using their positions to bury the documentary, regardless of the consequences. It's a battle that's bigger than any one person. It's about controlling the narrative and making sure the world doesn't learn the truth. The real question now is, who'll come out on top in this fight for control? And what happens to those caught in the middle? Christian Combs, the failed threat. Christian Combs, Diddy's son, made headlines when he boldly took to Twitter, publicly declaring that if he ever crossed paths with 50 Cent, he would slap him. It was an audacious threat that immediately caught the public's attention, but that wasn't all. Christian, not content with just a Twitter post, went one step further and released an entire diss track targeting 50 Cent. The lyrics, honestly, they're laughable. Christian rapped, 50 Cent, why you so mad, you that bad, cause you never got a chance to go shopping with my dad, really? Is this the best comeback you could muster? The diss track barely made an impact, and the lyrics sounded more like something out of a teenager's first attempt at rap rather than a legitimate challenge to one of hip-hop's most established figures. Let's break this down. Christian is trying to diss 50 Cent over a shopping trip. It seems more childish than anything else. But what really makes this threat laughable is the fact that this is the same Christian Combs who couldn't land a single punch on Ray J, despite trying 3 separate times. Not only did he fail each time, but the entire world watched him fail miserably. If Christian couldn't get past Ray J, someone much less of a threat than 50 Cent, what on earth makes him think he can take on a seasoned powerhouse like 50 Cent? But here's the big question: why is Marlon Wayans so determined to defend Diddy when the evidence is piling up against him? Is there something more going on behind the scenes? Could Jay-Z, who's been mysteriously erased from the documentary, be hiding something too? Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. It's all connected.
Alright, so I'm gonna make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep.
It's almost as if Christian has been off more than he can chew. The gap in experience, power, and influence between him and 50 Cent is undeniable. Christian might talk a big game online, but the reality is his threats fall flat. Just like his attempts to square up with Ray J, his actions now make him look more like a pawn in a larger game, rather than someone with the ability to truly challenge 50 Cent. 50, after all, is no stranger to controversy and conflict, and he has survived many bigger and more dangerous situations than this one. The question remains, what does Christian think he's really going to accomplish? If his track record is anything to go by, this is just another failed attempt to step into the ring. While Christian Combs is busy making music that no one's really paying attention to, 50 Cent is out there raking in millions from a #1 Netflix documentary that revolves around his father. It's almost hard to watch. While Christian struggles to promote his tracks, 50 Cent managed to put together a documentary that captivated the world, reaching the top of the charts in record time. And here's the kicker: it took 50 Cent far less time to create that explosive documentary than it's taken Christian to push his music, which, let's face it, hasn't caught the public's interest at all. It's embarrassing, really. Christian even took things a step further by dedicating an entire song to his mother. But surprise, surprise, nothing changed. No one cared. His musical efforts didn't gain any traction. The reality is there's no real talent there. And unfortunately, 50 Cent's documentary only served to highlight that even more. The documentary didn't just give us an inside look at Diddy's world, it also revealed just how long it took Diddy to write a few bars of music. Years, in fact. And when he finally did write something, it turns out he was stealing from others. The whole thing just seems to reinforce the point that talent doesn't run in the family. Christian's attempts to step into the spotlight just seem out of touch with reality. 50 Cent, on the other hand, is thriving, exposing truths, telling his story, and creating something that will be remembered for years to come. And as much as Christian may try to make a name for himself, it's clear that he's still living in his father's shadow, trying to force his way into a world where he doesn't quite belong. These privileged kids born into wealth and comfort have never known what it's like to struggle. They've never had to work for anything, never had to pay rent, never experienced the grind of a 9-to-5 job or the anxiety of living to paycheck. And yet they act like they can disrespect anyone they please just because their father did the same for years. But here's the reality check: every threat they make, every diss track they drop, and every Instagram post they put out is only digging them into a deeper hole. They may think they can throw their weight around, but they're sorely mistaken. 50 Cent has already proven time and again that he's not someone to be trifled with. He's made a career out of surviving the impossible and exposing the untold truths, no matter who's in his way. And now these kids, unaware of the consequences of their actions, are about to find out just how serious he is. 50 Cent isn't just a celebrity, he's a force, and he's going to destroy them. The funny part is they have no idea what's coming for them. The more they try to retaliate, the worse it's going to get. The consequences of crossing someone like 50 Cent are far more severe than they can imagine, and they're in way over their heads. Diddy's twin daughters, the public defenders. Now, let's shift focus to Diddy's twin daughters. The backlash they've faced online has been so overwhelming that they were forced to turn off their comments to avoid the flood of criticism. But instead of stepping back and reflecting on the situation, they've chosen to defend their father, pushing a narrative that everyone should just rise above the controversy and ignore the documentary. But honestly, who are they fooling? These are the same young women who have watched their father publicly humiliate and disrespect women, not just in private, but on camera for the world to see. They've been witnesses to the destruction he's left behind in countless lives, yet they stand there defending him as if their words can erase the harm done. Telling abuse survivors to simply rise above it is not only misguided, it's deeply tone-deaf. It's baffling to watch. How can they defend someone who has caused so much pain? How can they urge people to move on when they've seen firsthand what their father has done to others? Their attempt to dismiss the severity of the documentary and protect their father's image feels more like a desperate plea to hold on to the fame and wealth they've been raised in, rather than any genuine understanding of the trauma others have endured. The public isn't buying it. The truth is too loud to ignore, and their attempts to silence the pain and cover it up are only making things worse. Their defense of Diddy after all these years of abuse does nothing to paint them as noble. Instead, it only highlights how out of touch they are with reality. The public has been vocal in their disgust, and rightfully so. People are still grappling with the trauma caused by Diddy's actions, and yet these two are standing by him as if nothing has happened. They seem to believe they can simply sweep the years of harm under the rug in an effort to protect their father's image. But that's not how it works. The truth has already been exposed, and no amount of defense can change the damage that's been done. It's a tone-deaf move at the worst possible time, and the public isn't fooled. Marlon Wayans, the unlikely defender. Then we have Marlon Wayans, someone you wouldn't expect to get involved in this mess. Yet shockingly, he has publicly stepped up to defend Diddy. Marlon appeared on a radio show in LA where he took it upon himself to call out 50 Cent for kicking Diddy when he's down, warning him about karma. Seriously, Marlon, why are you so invested in defending Diddy? What's your motive here? Why go out of your way to protect someone who's been accused of hurting so many people? This doesn't make you a hero, Marlon. It makes you complicit. Diddy is facing multiple accusations and a public reckoning, yet here you are acting as if he needs saving. Why not let Diddy face the consequences of his actions, instead of taking a side in a battle that has already exposed so much? 50 Cent wasn't about to let this slide, of course. He wasted no time, heading straight to Instagram to post a picture of Marlon in full drag from the movie White Chicks. The caption was simple but savage. "Did this fool try to get at me?" It's a perfect response. Marlon's desperate attempt to defend Diddy in the face of overwhelming evidence just makes him look out of touch with the truth. In trying to stand by Diddy, Marlon only becomes part of the circus surrounding this entire scandal. The public isn't buying what he's selling, and 50 Cent is making sure everyone knows it. But Marlon didn't just stop with his initial defense. He doubled down, almost as if to amplify his commitment to protecting Diddy, warning 50 Cent once again about karma and even poking fun at 50's appearance. The comments felt personal, an unnecessary attack on 50 Cent's physicality instead of addressing the real issue. It's almost as though Marlon is trying to deflect attention away from what really matters: Diddy's long history of abuse and the devastating truths being revealed in the documentary, and onto 50 Cent himself. But why is Marlon so adamant about defending Diddy even when the evidence against him is mounting? This question has been swirling ever since Marlon's public defense of Diddy. The more he speaks out, the more the public starts to question his motives. Why go to such lengths to shield someone who is already facing severe backlash? Could there be something more going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to? Is there a deeper connection, an unspoken reason why Marlon feels the need to protect Diddy's reputation so fiercely? It's a question that lingers, one that has people wondering if there are things we're not being told. Could Marlon be hiding something, or perhaps trying to deflect attention from his own involvement in something darker? The more he defends Diddy, the more suspicious his actions become. And as the public scrutiny increases, Marlon's desperation to keep Diddy's image intact only raises more questions about his true motivations. The mysterious absence of Jay-Z now, things take a truly bizarre turn. As viewers dive into the documentary, one glaring, inexplicable absence stands out. Jay-Z, the legendary rapper and businessman who, for years, was Diddy's closest ally, is completely erased from the narrative. This is mind-boggling, given the history these two share. Jay-Z and Diddy were more than just industry peers. They were power players, friends, and collaborators. They ran the music industry together, building empires, doing business deals, and sharing the same social circles. Yet in the entire documentary, there isn't a single mention of Jay-Z, not one photo, no video footage, not even a passing reference to their long-standing relationship. It's as though Jay-Z never existed in Diddy's world. This absence raises some serious questions. How could someone so integral to Diddy's rise, someone who's been there from the beginning, be completely omitted from the story? The two were inseparable for years, often photographed together, appearing at events and business ventures side by side. They were both part of a golden era in hip-hop and business, yet Jay-Z is nowhere to be found in this documentary. This omission is far from coincidental. It's incredibly suspicious, especially when you consider that their bond was well documented. Their business ventures were intertwined, from Rockefeller Records to the many parties they attended, and yet Jay-Z's absence from the documentary is almost like a deliberate act of erasure. Could this be a subtle attempt to rewrite history? If so, why? Is there something in their relationship that 50 Cent doesn't want to reveal? Or perhaps, could there have been a deal made behind closed doors? What if Jay-Z asked 50 Cent to leave him out of the narrative in exchange for something more valuable? This is not a minor detail, it's a glaring hole in the story. Jay-Z's omission is so conspicuous that it has sparked a wave of speculation and theories. Some are even suggesting that 50 Cent made a secret agreement with Jay-Z and Beyonce to keep the rapper out of the documentary. It's been suggested that Jay-Z wanted to avoid being tied to Diddy's ongoing scandal, and in return, 50 Cent agreed to respect his wishes by erasing him from the narrative entirely. But this raises even more questions. Jay-Z is one of the most influential figures in the music industry, and his relationship with Diddy was pivotal in shaping the landscape of hip-hop. There's no way to tell the full story of Diddy's rise without mentioning Jay-Z, so why was he erased? Theories abound, but the truth remains elusive. One thing is certain, the omission of Jay-Z from this documentary is far from accidental. It's part of a larger story, and what's being left out could be just as important as what's being shown. The silence surrounding Jay-Z's absence is deafening, and fans are only more curious about the LD story behind the scenes. Conspiracy theories and the deal with Jay-Z as the documentary unfolds and the mysteries around it deepen. Conspiracy theorists are starting to connect the dots in a way that raises eyebrows. One of the most intriguing theories circulating is that 50 Cent made a secret deal with none other than Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The speculation goes like this. Jay-Z, knowing the mess Diddy had created, quietly assisted 50 Cent behind the scenes, and in return, 50 kept Jay-Z completely out of the documentary. It's a theory that sounds almost too calculated, but the more you think about it, the more plausible it becomes. Why would Jay-Z, a man who played such a pivotal role in the music industry alongside Diddy, suddenly be erased from the narrative? Perhaps Jay-Z didn't want to be dragged into the scandal surrounding Diddy. After all, his name has always been closely associated with Diddy's empire, and being part of the documentary could have tied him to all the controversy that was coming to light. Instead of allowing himself to be implicated, maybe Jay-Z quietly made a deal with 50 Cent. In exchange for staying out of the documentary, Jay-Z would provide assistance in the background. This would have allowed 50 Cent to tell his version of the story, while ensuring that Jay-Z's reputation remained untouched by the fallout.
50 Cent put out this Diddy doc, and Marlon was asked about this Diddy doc on, 92.3, okay, in LA, and they asked him, did he watch it? And he said he was Diddy'd out. Pretty much saying, yo, that man is already doing time, and he said 50 Cent gotta be careful because, he gonna get his karma. Something to that effect. What you got to say about that?
F you, the boat you ride on, anybody look like you got your last name and rolled on that boat.
The theory makes sense on a certain level. Jay-Z is known for being very selective about the public personas he associates with, especially when it comes to his brand and image. He's not one to wade into messy waters unless it's absolutely necessary. So if Jay-Z wanted to keep his name clean, it's entirely possible that he asked 50 Cent to leave him out of the documentary in exchange for some sort of behind-the-scenes support. The real question now is, what exactly did Jay-Z provide to 50 Cent in return? Was it insider knowledge, or did he perhaps facilitate the distribution of critical information that made the documentary so explosive? The silence of the other defenders, as if the absence of Jay-Z wasn't strange enough. There's a growing number of figures who are either staying silent or defending Diddy in ways that only add fuel to the fire. Take Jennifer Lopez, for example. Her silence on the entire matter is deafening. If you remember, she was directly tied to the infamous club shooting that linked her to Diddy. On that night, she had gunshot residue on her hands, and yet to this day, she has not addressed the situation publicly. The question is why? Did she speak out in defense of the woman who was shot that night? Did she even do anything to help? The answer, sadly, is no. Jennifer Lopez chose to remain silent and let the truth fade into obscurity. Instead of acknowledging the damage and the ongoing impact of that incident, J.Lo did the classic Hollywood move. She ran off and married Ben Affleck, presumably hoping that the public would forget her past connection to Diddy and the shooting. This kind of avoidance tactic isn't just passive, it's active disregard for the truth. J.Lo's decision to stay silent, despite being directly involved in the scandal, sends a clear message that she's more concerned about protecting her image than speaking out for justice or helping those hurt by Diddy's actions. Her silence speaks volumes, especially when juxtaposed against the people who are trying to defend Diddy at all costs. As the documentary exposes more of Diddy's abusive behavior, those who stay silent or try to cover up the truth only look more suspicious. Jennifer Lopez, just like others defending Diddy, is only adding to the growing suspicions surrounding the truth. And the longer she stays silent, the more she'll be tied to this toxic narrative. In the end, it's clear that some figures in the entertainment world are going to great lengths to either defend Diddy or remain silent, hoping the truth will disappear. But as the documentary continues to expose the skeletons in the closet, it's becoming harder for these celebrities to remain untouched by the fallout. The silence of figures like J.Lo only highlights how deep this web of complicity truly runs. J.Lo's silence and its consequences, it's cold, really cold. Jennifer Lopez had the opportunity to speak out years ago, but she chose silence instead. If she had spoken up back then, maybe, just maybe, Cassie wouldn't have had to endure the same kind of abuse that Diddy inflicted on so many others. But instead of using her platform for good, J.Lo stayed silent, hoping that the public would forget about her past ties to Diddy and the scandals that followed. Now she's reaping the consequences of her decision. By choosing silence, J.Lo allowed the narrative to remain unchecked. She could have been a voice for the victims, could have helped to expose the truth when it mattered most. But instead, she chose to protect her own image, and in doing so, she left others to bear the weight of Diddy's actions. As the truth continues to surface, J.Lo's refusal to acknowledge the pain and suffering caused by Diddy's behavior becomes even more damning. The silence that once seemed like an escape is now an anchor, pulling her deeper into the mess she tried to avoid. Diddy's legal response, but while others are choosing silence, Diddy himself is fighting back in a much more aggressive way. His legal team didn't sit back and let the documentary drop without putting up a fight. Almost immediately after its release, they issued a cease and desist letter to Netflix, labeling the documentary a shameful hit piece. Diddy's team even threatened to sue Netflix for millions of dollars, claiming that the documentary had used stolen footage that was never meant to be released. Here's where it gets truly ironic. The footage that Diddy's legal team is trying to protect was actually shot by a videographer Diddy himself hired. Yes, you heard that right. Diddy thought he could control the narrative by having this footage captured, likely planning to use it for his own documentary in an attempt to paint a picture of innocence. But in a twist of fate, that very footage ended up in the hands of 50 Cent. Talk about karma. Diddy's attempt to control his own story backfired spectacularly, as the footage he intended to use as a shield is now being wielded as a weapon against him. Millions of people are now watching. The very footage that Diddy thought would save him. Instead of controlling the narrative, Diddy has found himself at the mercy of a story that he can no longer control. The irony is almost too much to ignore. His own attempts to manipulate the truth have led to his public downfall. And as the documentary continues to gain traction, it's clear that the battle for control of Diddy's story is far from over. The aftermath in the wake of 50 Cent's documentary, the very foundation of Hollywood's elite, is being shaken to its core. Celebrities like Marlon Wayans, Kevin Hart, and Ray J have all been swept up in this chaotic mess, each either defending Diddy or staying silent in the face of mounting evidence. But one thing is certain, 50 Cent isn't backing down. With every new revelation, he's exposing these figures for who they truly are, either complicit in the cover-up or too afraid to speak the truth. The documentary is far from over, and neither is the fallout. The impact is still unfolding, and as more details surface, the pressure on these figures will only increase. The big question now is, who's next? Will Jay-Z finally come forward to explain why he's been completely erased from Diddy's story? Given his deep connection to Diddy over the years, his absence is almost too glaring to ignore. Is there something more to this? Could it be that Jay-Z made a quiet, behind-the-scenes deal to stay out of the documentary entirely? And will Diddy finally face the consequences of his decades-long reign of manipulation and abuse? One thing is for sure, 50 Cent has only just begun to shake the tree, and the fruit is already falling fast. As the layers peel back, more and more secrets are coming to light, and it's only a matter of time before the full truth is revealed. Your thoughts? So, what do you think? Who do you believe is most desperate to stop this documentary from being seen? Is it Jay-Z trying to keep his name out of the drama, or is there someone else pulling the strings behind the scenes? Why is Marlon Wayans so determined to defend Diddy even in the face of all the evidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one, and if you've stuck with us this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over. There's so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. And if you made it this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. The truth is coming out, and you want to be the first to know all the shocking twists in this story. Stay tuned, more revelations are coming soon.